Here's my Valorant patch notes rundown for 10.06. We'll start with the agent updates for Kayo. We'll start with flash drive. Upon bouncing, flashes will now start a 0.8 second wind up and then pop. This wind up has unique audio and visuals when triggered. The bounce wind up will not be triggered if it is already less than 0.8 seconds, so basically it doesn't increase the total max time. Underhand maximum flash duration has gone up by 0.25 seconds. The vehicle color range has gone up by 30 meters. Unequipped time has gone down by 0.25 seconds, and the minimap indicator has been added to teammates for the flash. So I think overall this is a pretty impactful change. If you want to see what it looks like, I've got this video here on Twitter by SpikeGG, and it seems like it's going to be pretty good at most elos. But like this is like a ranked forward change. But I do think that it's not going to be that impactful at the higher levels of play because it's very reactable. Hearing the bounce and hearing that really high-pitched sound, I feel like it's going to be easy to react to. I do think, though, the unequipped time and the right-click flash getting above does affect pro play. So we'll have to see if Kayo does actually start to get played more in pro play because he has been a bit overshadowed by Tayo and Breach. So I do imagine that he will see a bit more play now that this is going to happen. But yeah, I think overall this is a pretty good change for Kayo. I think he will see more play. I'm not sure if you'll really actually see more play in solo queue because my concern is that he still is not going to be very popular. Even though I think that he's a really fun agent to play, I think that overall maybe the player base overall just doesn't value Kayo as much as they value playing other agents, even in the initiator role. So null command. Ally resurrection has gone down by half. So this is pretty fine. I mean, it doesn't really do a whole lot in terms of, like, if you think about it, situations, right, scenario-wise. What scenario is going to be this? Like, it's not going to happen very often that this actually matters, I don't think. But it is nice to have. It does definitely increase the amount of scenarios that you do actually get the resurrection off. But it means that, like, you know, think of it like this, right? It's an ult, so you don't get it every round. And then on top of that, you have to die in your ult. You have to die in a place where you can actually get rezzed. And while this does technically increase the amount of positions that you can get res potentially, it's not exactly readable in the game in the scenario either. So it might not actually impact a whole lot of scenarios that this will actually make sense to use it in, if that makes sense. So yeah, I'm not sure if this will actually be massive, but it's fine. It's fine. It definitely adds to Kayo in solo queue because it definitely stops Kayo from feeling a bit more powerless, I think, in his ult. Because it means that, you know, the allies have more chance of getting him up, so it's kind of fine. Kayo for Yoru is next. So 100 credits going to 200 credits. So I did expect a nerf to Yoru at some point soon because he is by far, in my opinion, the best agent in the game if you know what you're doing with him. He has more util than anyone else. He has a lot of util to take fights with, to get rid of other util with. He's just very, very solid of an agent. By solid, I literally mean the best agent in the game. But yeah, I think this makes sense, but I think this is very tame for a change. But I do like that they're being a bit tame with Yoru because I think that there is a level that they need to maintain with Yoru, that he needs to be rewarding enough to play to begin with because of how difficult he can be to actually initially learn. So I do like that they're being a bit more safe with the changes, even though this does impact very, very minor cases, especially probably around pistol. But I don't quite know the numbers on that, so maybe it doesn't. But yeah, this is like a fine direction for getting Yoru to not be like the straight up strongest in every scenario. But yeah, next is voice. Raise Divine duration is going down from 10 seconds to 7 seconds, and Sheer is going down from 8 seconds to 6 seconds. So yeah, this is just to get rid of a lot of her stall, I'm guessing. Yeah, you can see base level value of her stall. And this is mainly aimed at pro play, I would say, because stall tends to be worse in ranked anyway. But the Sheer in general was one of the strongest like abilities in solo queue because a lot of people don't really respect the wall, or when they go into like 5-man execute, the first player would just die and there's nothing else anyone could do. At least now there's maybe a chance that the first player doesn't just insta die, or at least there's not insta die, but there's a chance that maybe the first player can live long enough to get their teammates to help them, kind of depending on the map and on the site. Yeah, I think Voice is still gonna be one of the best agents in the game. She's definitely like underrated, I think, both in pro play and in solo queue. I think especially in solo queue, to be honest. I barely see her, and I think that the Sheer, especially as an ability, and the Flash, both of those two abilities are really strong in solo queue, because you can catch so many people off guard with where you use them and how you use them. and you can get kills very easily with those abilities. I think the Razorvine is fine in solo queue, but I think it definitely shines more in pro play. And I think that, yeah, the 7 seconds, these changes are kind of required, I think, because of just how oppressive Vice can be in a defensive setting. But yeah, I think that's it for the changes. All the rest are bug fixes and things, and as far as I know, there's no important bug fixes here. But yeah, okay, so that's it for the patch notes. I hope you enjoyed, and if you have any questions or anything about some of the changes or anything you want to share about these changes that you think is interesting, please let me know in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in my next one.